Jai Hind students, today we are going to learn about the importance of planning. In the last classes we learned what are the different characteristics of planning. So today we have to learn in detail what are the different points indicates the importance of planning. So planning is very important due to so many reasons. First of all, we have to learn what is the points that indicates importance of planning. So we have to learn each points in detail how planning is very essential for the successful achievement of the organization. The first point is related to planning every time provides direction. So direction in the sense it provides proper instructions to achieve organizational goals. Just read it. Planning provides the direction and the sense of purpose for the organization, and it provides the broad targets to be achieved by the organization, and also planning defines the guidelines in terms of the policy and procedure following which the organization try to achieve the set targets. So every time to achieve the set targets, planning provides direction to the organization and its members. So that is why it is very important. Second one is it reduces the risk of uncertainty. So every time planning is forecasting. So by forecasting the future events, we can reduce the level of risk or loss that may happen to the organization. So future is always uncertainties. A business organization has to function in these uncertainties. It can operate successfully if it is able to predict the uncertainties. Thus, planning always helps in foreseeing all these uncertainties which may be caused by change in technology, so federal rules of the government, fashion and choice of customers. Lots of factors are there that will lead to loss or risk to the organization that can be curtailed by prediction. So that is planning very much important to reduce the uncertainty. The next one is unifying framework to achieve the objectives. Unifying, what is unifying? Unifying means bringing a team spirit, bringing all the elements and peoples in an organization under one roof. So unifying framework is another important feature that shows planning is very important. So the basic characteristics of planning is related to the organizational objectives. All the operations are planned to achieve the organizational objectives. So planning facilitates the achievement of objectives by focusing attention on them. It requires the clear definition of objectives so that the most appropriate alternative course of action can be chosen. So every time planning unifies all the elements in an organization to achieve its objectives. The next one is it helps for coordination. Planning always coordinates all the departmental activities. The effort of all peoples will be coordinated by planning to achieve the organizational objectives very effectively. Coordination is very essential to achieve the objectives of an organization. So with proper planning and coordination, we can integrate the efforts of all departments in an organization. So planning helps in setting better coordination among interdepartmental activity and clearly lay down the area of freedom in the development of various subplans, and various departments work in accordance with the overall plans of the action. So thus there is harmony in the organization and duplication of efforts and conflicts of jurisdictions are avoided. So coordination is possible through better planning, and economy in operation is also possible through planning. So without wasting the materials and effort and the time and money, we can bring better achievement and growth to the organization. That is economy in operation. So planning ensures economical operations because of the emphasis on efficiency. Since planning involves the selection of the best possible course of action, it is implied that best results would be achieved at the least possible cost. So planning tries to eliminate unproductive efforts of workers and different elements in an organization, which will help for the optimum utilization of all the elements in an organization without occurring wastage of time, money, material, men, etc. So it is possible only through planning. So it is also shows planning is very important. Next point which indicates the importance of planning is it facilitates control. Planning always the first step which helps for the last function in the organization. So controlling is the last function. It's not last, it is yet another function of management. So it will be better controlling of all the elements in an organization is possible through better planning. So planning ensures better control as when the activities are done on a planned manner. So if the activities of workers are not as per the planned manner, there will be corrective actions. So better planning helps for achieving the organizational objectives, also to rectify the deviation of different activities in an organization from the plans and policies of the organization. So planning always facilitates controlling all the elements in an organization to achieve the objectives very easily without deviating from the master plan. So that is why planning is also very important. And planning always encourages innovation and creativity. Innovation and creativity is very essential for the survival of the organization. You know very well, creative thinking is very important element, and that is an intellectual property which is very essential to attract the customers and for the survival of business in the world. So planning helps innovative and creative thinking among the managers, because many new ideas come into the mind of a manager when he is planning. It creates a forward-looking attitude among the managers. So creative thinking is also a prediction for the future. So planning is very essential to encourage innovation and creative thinking among all the members in an organization. So planning is very essential. It is very important for innovation and creative thinking. Next point is related to increase in competitive strength. Increase in competitive strength. So effective planning gives a competitive edge to the enterprise over other enterprises that do not have planning or have ineffective planning. This is because planning may involve expansion of capacity, change in work method, change in quality, anticipation of taste and fashion of people, and technological changes. So through better planning, we can eradicate the competition from other business firms. So better planning always helps for reducing the level of competition in the market. So remember, planning is very essential to increase in competitive strength of a particular organization. So planning is very important. We have to think one more point, that is it improves morale of workers. Planning always increases or improves the morale. It helps in defining the goals and the steps to achieve them, which in turn help in clearly define what is expected from the employees and how he or she is doing to achieve it. This helps in building positive morale in the employees. So every time when we are bringing the involvement of workers in the important planning process, indirectly it will give more opportunity to bring maximum performance from the part of the employees. So planning helps for improving morale of the workers. So these all are the points that indicates planning is very essential for the running and working and better performance of not only the workers, all other activities, functions in an organization. So we have to remember all these points. Just watch the video again and again to develop your own concepts. So we are moving to the next topic. So dear students, we are moving to the next topic from the chapter planning, that is limitation of planning. Limitation of planning. So planning is a best process, the primemost function, the primary function that helps for better running of the organization, but it has some limitations. We have to know that limitations also. So the limitations of planning involves, first point is lack of accurate information. Sometimes the firm will not get accurate information, apt information, reliable and valid information for the organization. So only through reliable information we can create best plans. Suppose the organization is conducting a survey to introduce a new product in the market. If they are not getting the positive and the right information from the customers, they can't take better decision and better plans. So always planning lacks accurate information. So accurate information helps for better generalization and better plans to do innovative and creative activities. So that is the first limitation, first point that shows the limitation of planning, lack of accurate information. And the next one is we are going to learn the next point, that is lack of accurate forecast. Lack of accurate forecast. So it is a continuation of the first point. We are not getting accurate information, so we are not able to predict about the future very clearly or accurately. So planning is future oriented activity. Its success depends on the accuracy of the forecast or predictions made. The forecast or predictions depends on the information and its analysis, which cannot be completely reliable and accurate. So we will never get 100% accurate data from the market. So that will be essential for accurate data is essential for taking better predictions about the future. So inaccurate information from the customers and from the retailers or wholesalers will lead to negative decisions from the part of the management. So lack of accurate forecast is yet another limitation of planning. And next point is cost and time consuming complex process. Planning is time consuming process, complex process and more cost involved process. You know very well, it is an expensive process and it requires more time. We need the support of experts. We have to pay more money to them. And the managerial skill also, sometimes there will be lack of managerial skilled persons. So the collection of information, its evaluation and selection of best alternative may not be possible within the limited time. So that is why planning is costly process, time consuming process and complex process. So remember this limitation also. Planning is not a process which can be completed within a single time. It needs more time, it needs more money. So it is a complex process. That is one of the limitation of planning. And next one is rigidity. Sometimes maybe due to the managerial decisions or the government policy, there will be rigidity in planning. It's not flexible in all cases. So planning may result in internal inflexibility and prudential rigidities. So as planning will decide the policy and procedure, hence the managers will execute all other actions guided by plans, which will restrict flexibility of decision making and actions. So due to the rigid plans, maybe the change in market condition or government policy, the managers will stick on the primary plans. They will never alter the plans according to the change in business condition, maybe or the natural calamities and the diseases we are facing now like COVID. They will never change the plans. They will be rigid. So it is one of the limitation of planning. And the next point is lack of specific goals. Sometimes planning is giving more importance for earning profit. They will never give importance for qualitative aspects. Qualitative objectives like social responsibility, management development, quality of work life, etc. They will never give much importance. They will give more importance for earning maximum profit. Once these objectives conflict the quantifiable ones, managers tend to ignore them totally. So the managers will give more importance for earning profit. Then planning cannot be effective unless goals are specific, clear and actionable. So every time specific goals, not the broad goals, specific goals are needed for achieving the organizational objectives. So planning requires highly talented managerials. So lack of planning skill is another limitation of planning. So the plans depends upon the planner without appropriate skills of analyzing information, prediction and formulating a suitable action. The planning will not show the desired results. Planning is an art and science, hence the capability of one person will be different from other in devising a suitable plan. So every time if there is no qualified and highly talented person, managerial person, the planning will be a waste. So it depends upon, planning depends upon the appropriate skill of a manager. So you have to know it is an art. The manager should be a best artist. Only then planning will be very effective. So remember, it is the another limitation of planning. Lack of skilled, talented employees at the higher level. So planning needs such type of person having high quality, creative talents and skill. The next point of limitation is resistance to change. The planning is done usually by the top management, and for its implementation we require support of the middle and lower employees. So sometimes the employees at the lower level, they limit the effectiveness of plan. They will never support. They will resist. They will be against the plan of the top management. So at that time, the top management are unable to achieve the plans effectively. They are not able to implement the plans in the organization. That is another limitation of planning. And the last point of limitation shows false sense of security. Planning also tends to create a false sense of security in the organization, as the organization thinks that by following the plans in right perspective will yield the desired result. This makes them a bit more careless and they ignore the changes in the market. So they resist. The management is not able to achieve the objectives of the organization. So there is a false sense of security in planning. So they are not getting the actual result of the planned policies and activities due to some kind of carelessness from the part of the workers, or what may be related to the management. So it may create a false sense of security in the organization. Why? Because the plans, they will think that the plan is going in the right perspective, but the workers are, sometimes the workers are not following the plans. It will leads to they are not able to achieve the organizational objectives. So there are a lot of limitations like this for the concept planning. I hope the ideas are very clear. Just read the contents again and again from the textbook and watch this video again to develop your own concepts related to the limitations of planning.